Do you feel all right,
weird.
Carl?
Prepare to hear horrific tales of incarceration, heartbreak and hauntings.
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding, and this is Most Haunted.
We're no strangers to Devon and its host of haunted houses. But today we visit a manor house that is oozing with tales of paranormal existence. How well-founded will these be? We have 24 hours to unlock the secrets of Chambercombe Manor. The seaside town of Ilfracombe often attracts crowds, but how many are drawn to its very own paranormal hotspot, a manor house that has a very tragic tale to tell? The earliest available records list a lord of the manor way back in 1162, and in addition to its priest holes, a licensed chapel was added in 1439. Then, a century later, the Otway family's short but significant stay began. And although their dubious means of income would return to haunt them, a succession of families were happy to call this their home. Recently its role changed to a working farm, until in 1979 the Chambercombe Manor Trust took ownership, allowing you and I to visit during the summer months.
The spirit of a woman called Elizabeth Vi has been seen walking on this 400-year-old floor. The spirit of a man has also been felt by the fireplace, and an old woman dressed in black has been seen sitting on the windowsill.
In the 1650s, this belonged to the Otway family. They were, as many Devonshire families, smugglers and shipwreckers. Legend has it that William Otway was running out of money. His daughter had left and married an Irish sea captain. They hadn't seen her for years. They wrecked a ship, many bodies. They found a young woman lying on the sand. She'd been bashed against the rocks, her face was badly disfigured. He robbed her, then realised she was still alive, brought her back here to the house unconscious, laid her in a bed. 5 days later, she died. William was then wondering how to dispose of the body. Went down to the pub in Ilfracombe and was talking to some people who'd got a list of all the people that had been on the shipwreck. There was only one woman. They gave him the name, and it was his daughter, Kate. They didn't know what to do with the body, and so they bricked up the room where she was and left her lying in the four-poster bed.
This is the four-poster bedroom, and there are so many ghost stories attached to it. It has to be one of the most scariest rooms I've ever visited. A child wearing swaddling clothes has actually been seen inside this cot as it rocks from side to side. And as if that wasn't scary enough, the ghost of a woman wearing a grey long dress and a mop cap has been seen standing over it. When people sit in this chair, some of them complain of feeling ill. Others talk about being pushed off. So far, so good. I feel absolutely fine.
In the 1880s, a farmer rethatching the roof noticed that there was an extra windowsill. Came inside and broke through the wall and found in a four-poster bed the skeleton of that girl, still there to that day.
Which brings us to the priest hole. Now, this just wasn't used by the clergy, it was also used by smugglers, and in the dead of night, dark groans can be heard echoing from it.
Since I've been here, the paranormal experience I've had are mostly with a little girl about 6 years old, roughly 6.
She wears a little a darky blue dress, and she has ringlets, brown hair.
We think her name is Ellie, and she's normally coming around with me when I'm on my tours. I usually say a few nursery rhymes to her when I start in the mornings, and I say goodnight to her before I go home at night.
This room holds a terrifying secret. A young girl aged 6 died in this very room, and her ghost has been seen playing in this area along with her friend. 2 male entities have also been witnessed in here, and one of them supposedly is not a nice character. With cold spots and poltergeist activity, this particular area is going to be very interesting tonight.
Parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe has investigated many manor houses. So what attracts him to this particular property? And how does he intend to get the most from our stay?
Kieran, this is an exceptional place for us to investigate because there's so many stories here.
And they're really intricate. You know, they have links to the town, links to the local area, links to lots of historical figures, and I just find that fascinating.
Now, one particular room has a horrible story attached to it, which is where a skeleton of a young woman was actually found sealed up in the room. What do you want to do with that room tonight? Because apparently that's quite an active place.
I'd like to make that an experimental room for at least part of the investigation and focus a lot of equipment there. EMF, temperature, humidity, air pressure, also have trigger objects and have a number of different cameras and motion sensors, and hopefully see if we can pick something objective up.
The good thing about this investigation is that where we're actually based is in another building away from here. So when people come on a vigil, we know for a fact there is definitely nobody else in here.
With the crew being in a separate building and having that walk to the haunted location each time they conduct a vigil, it's building up the anticipation and the fear. So certainly is something psychologically to look out for.
There is a couple of houses nearby, but there's sort of no main roads, it's not busy, is it?
It's certainly not busy around here, so yeah, we're not going to get any extraneous noise from outside that we could misinterpret as some sort of paranormal communication. It's going to be fantastic, and with these historical accounts, some of us know in depth about the stories, others don't. But what you're finding with each investigation is that the whole evening seems to build up a narrative of its own. You know, so it starts off with a few little phenomena that people are experiencing, and then it's a case of getting information from the medium that's attributed to a spirit or a previous story, and we build up on that, and in the seance maybe get more detail about the story. So as the evening goes on, we're almost building our own story that matches the previous accounts, and I think if we get that, that would be good.
This house may offer a relatively uninspired exterior, but what lies inside? Before medium David Wells's arrival, guest psychic Gordon Smith would start in the room that for a century and a half lay untouched by human hand. Then it was a crypt for the corpse of a deserted daughter, but nowadays is the centre of the paranormal phenomena at Chambercombe Manor.
I know I've got to go into this room because this is sort of where things happen for me. And again, I'm in this room, but I'm not. I'm also behind this room, here. I'm sorry to keep walking a bit like this, but I want to be between here and here, in this space behind the room.
Right.
Can you imagine somebody being bricked up in a wall? Mm-hmm. Or somebody being buried beneath floorboards or something like that? There's some very, very strange about this. Right. Catherine, or Kathleen, I'm not sure which, Catherine, Kathleen. It's a name like that that's being shouted out here. This is to do with Ireland, to do with Dublin, and in and around that area.
Oh, right. You're on the right
somewhere
track.
called Blackwater, because that's what she's showing me here. And I actually get the sense of the woman coming forward herself. She's not an old woman, I feel as though. Very, very thin woman. Quite a pretty looking woman, I would say. And there's something about her death that has caused a lot of bad feeling, a lot of guilt. She herself feels terrible.
So we can help her?
I would say so, absolutely. I hope so, because this is something that I feel really, really strong.
Despite dozens of landlords living here, Chambercombe is a manor house shrouded in the grief of one particularly unsavoury family. But will the extent of their grief fully manifest as our investigation reaches the witching hour?
Can you hear my voice?
It's moving, it's moving.
Cot's rocking.
This Devonshire home is Chambercombe Manor, a place that attracts tourists keen to see and hear of the ghosts said to haunt here. The biggest tale that this ancient home has to tell is that of a family who lived here in the 17th century. William Oatway's discovery that he had robbed his drowned daughter taught the smuggler a hard lesson. A guilt that Gordon feels still lingers in the room where the father had left her body to rot behind a bricked-up door.
Whether people have felt anything on this or not, I don't know, but I do sense terrible, terrible feelings as I come to these stairs. Catherine, she's the one who's been dragged up these stairs.
Go down the stairs and walk up?
Yeah.
We'll stand here. I'm horrible, aren't I?
I would be reluctant to come up these stairs. There's something, a force, an energy stops me coming up these stairs.
Whereabouts? Right from the very bottom?
Yeah. And even walking up, there's a horrid sense of dizziness. And if I close my eyes, it's almost like seeing this again. And I'm actually seeing the woman in sort of green clothes, like, I don't know, green long frocks with sort of frills and stuff like that. I honestly don't know what time period that would be. So I don't know whether she's been murdered, but I get the sense of her being battered.
And these people dragging her, are they responsible for that? Have they
I honestly don't know. At the moment, I do feel a lot of guilt.
Kate's badly damaged body rendered her unrecognisable to her own parents. So once their realisation had turned to guilt, they did have a place close by in which to seek forgiveness for their treacherous sins.
It's like picking up on memory here. And I would go back to the time where there's something to do with smuggling, and there's two sides to this house. There's one side that is one side of a family, I've got to say, that are quite nasty. And yet I feel a very humble, a very prayerful side. That's why I'm comfortable coming in here. The feeling of guilt I had when I was up the stair. It's as though, oh my God, I've prayed so hard to be forgiven. Who are we sitting here? James Wallace. James Wallace.
Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah? Does that mean anything?
Yes, it does.
It does.
If I were to say where I felt strongest, certainly the room upstairs in the little gap behind the room, the little door thing that you go through, I'm sure people get spooked. They certainly would get spooked at those stairs. That is an energy that just stops you dead, trying to go up there.
Okay, and you think we're going to get activity tonight?
Oh, I hope so, because what you want to do is to really try and, in some way, help
her.
That spirit who is... She came here to do something, or was on her way here to do something, and it never happened. And it's as though she will just keep replaying that part of her memory until somebody points it out.
At least 3 owning families are believed to rest beneath this chapel floor, but it's another former occupant who still looms large at Chambercombe Manor. No one knows if Kate Wallace took a boat ride with the intention of visiting her mother and father's home, or if a cruel twist of fate saw the Oatways' dishevelled and dying daughter unwittingly robbed and entombed by her own cruel kin. And with reports of infantile hauntings often heard in the Chippendale room, David Wells was about to divulge more from this building's paranormal past and present.
The first thing that I'm really aware of is one strong female presence and the presence of two children and one male. The children seem dominant here. 2 little girls in like classic kind of night shifts. So they're wearing night clothes, they're not wearing daytime clothes.
How old would you put them at?
Sort of start of school age, like 5, 6 years old. They're showing me one of them has blood, and it's coming from her mouth, and it's on her... They initially showed me on her gown. One has died of an illness, by the looks of it. The blood in the mouth tends to your lungs, I suppose, or something like that. And the other one just seems to be like a friend. And I can't get why she died.
But they're both, they're both seen here.
Yeah, both seen here. One is active. If you slept here, she would tug at the clothes, she would move things in the room. She might even do, rattle these kind of things, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So anything to get your attention.
Right.
But there is one woman who's around the place, around everything.
Do you want to walk further on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tragic sight of Kate isn't the only female thought to roam this manor house. Ellen, her mother, is thought to be the lady seen standing above this crib, perhaps a sign of the maternal love that was sadly lacking whilst both ladies were alive. But how much pain will David sense from our next destination?
What's the matter?
I just really feel sick in this room, nauseous in this room. There's two things going on. There's one, I'm very aware of an astral on this bed. Not this bed. It's not, I don't think it is physically this bed, but that's how they're showing me it. Of a young woman. She looks like she's been battered to death. I'm very aware also of a baby in that crib, and it's rocking backwards and forwards. But they don't seem to be linked.
Right.
So they don't, that doesn't fit.
Okay.
That doesn't fit here at all. It shouldn't be here because she's stronger. She's attached to the house.
And who is this woman?
I'm getting the name Kate from the ether, I guess. And there's a surname as well, which is Wallace. She seems, she smells of the sea, but she looks like she's been battered. Now, whether she's been physically battered by someone, or whether she's been bashed against rocks or something like that.
When would this have happened, do you know?
17th century, late 1600s.
Okay.
Mid 1600s, maybe.
Are you saying she died in the sea?
No, because I can see her dragged and she seems to be alive. She's being tended to by a couple. It's kind of like they're after her money. She's definitely not at peace, and that we know.
Okay.
She's definitely not at peace.
Is she here a lot of the time?
Permanently.
Okay.
Permanently grounded. And she's saying, this is my tomb.
Do you want to walk
This
on?
is my tomb, is what she's saying.
One particular female may now have appeared at the forefront of our consciousness. But a move downstairs would soon remind us that other energies still exist within the fabric of Chambercombe Manor.
This room, again, the male figure seems to be dominating this space. Activity-wise, he might move a few things, I suppose. Not much. Clocks might change clocks. There might be a few clocks that do funny things. Be him.
Any name with him or?
Patrick.
Patrick.
Patrick was the first name there. Late 1700s, early 1800s.
Okay.
So 16th, 17th century. Yeah.
Are you excited about this evening? I mean, do you think this girl, Kate, or think we'll be able to help her? And
I think we can certainly help her because, you know, there's I can't at the moment see a real reason why she hasn't moved on. Very often, you know, if they don't move on, they're embarrassed because of their faith, or they've done something they've murdered, or, you know, apart from the fact, I suppose she could feel aggrieved at her treatment.
This Devonshire home has provided some of its inhabitants with more misery than anyone deserves, a suffering that is palpable from beyond the grave. Kate appears the strongest astral energy that we have encountered so far, but would the onset of night vision signal a transferal of her anxiety onto our crew's minds? We begin with Richard and Joe, who nestle down in the main hall, whilst the rest of the crew stand by. We attempt to obtain further sensory details through David and Gordon's séance circle. But in Chambercombe's most notorious room, would any of its perpetrators wish to respond?
If there's anybody there who wants to communicate with us, please give us a sign. Please knock on the table, touch one of us, come closer to us, to our energy. Just give us a sign and we will try and help you.
can you see my trousers moving?
Which side?
Both of them. Where my shins are. The floor was creaking as well under the feet.
I could feel that under.
And again, and again.
Can you feel it?
Yeah. Kate, is this you? Please don't be frightened.
I can feel it under my feet.
I can too. And again. Oi, oh.
What's happening down there?
Don't know. It's between me and you here.
Yeah.
And
Right
again.
here.
Can you get this? Can you feel it?
You see anything?
No, can't see
Because you were feeling it down at
Yeah.
your legs at the
Yeah.
start as well.
It's still there on my legs.
I can feel it under my feet.
Yeah, it really did feel like something was playing with my trousers at the...
You getting anything, David?
Just you know, them circling us.
Yeah.
I think it's them, yeah, it's more
Yeah.
than, there's more than one, it's just,
Yeah, I can sense a man there.
yeah, there's a man, a woman, children as well.
Can you let us know who's with you? Give David or I the impression, or the girls, anything that comes into your minds. God, I can feel somebody touching my leg now. I actually feel a male presence coming forward.
I'm getting a cold now.
Yeah. And I can feel I'm getting really cold as I feel it, and it's his presence I feel. It's as if he's moving through me.
Come on, are you here with us now? Please try hard. Please give us some sort of sign, let us know that you're here. My freezing. Kate, is this you that's around me now? Or is there somebody else here too?
I think there's somebody else, because I'm seeing somebody coming through David, but it's a man I'm seeing.
Okay, his right hand is twitching on mine.
Yeah, he needs help, this man. Is this William? Come on, Spirit, can you give me some awareness? It is.
Freezing.
William? I'm seeing clairvoyantly across David's face, his face changing. It's like the man's in tears, he's heartbroken. Oh, I just saw somebody in the doorway. There's nobody there, is there?
No.
Now that's strange, because that was a woman, a figure of a woman I saw there. Just as though she just looked round, but she did not look like the woman I saw earlier. This is another woman. David, are you getting anything? I feel as though he's trying to use David in some way.
Mm-hmm. What, speak through him?
I don't know, that's what it feels like to me.
Try and speak through David.
Come on, my friend.
William, can you hear my voice? Speak to me, William, please. Speak to me. Is it you, William? Is your name William? William, did you rob from Kate? Is that why you feel so awful? You didn't realise it was Kate, did you? Am I right? You didn't realise it was someone you knew. Please speak to us. Am I speaking the truth? If Kate's here, am I speaking the truth, Kate?
Are we witnessing the result of a heartbreak that transcends several centuries? Whilst David is in tears upstairs, who is behind the shadows that are worrying Richard and Joe downstairs? Chambercombe Manor has a lot more mysteries to uncover. Chambercombe Manor's white, unassuming exterior walls hide a 350-year-old tale that continues to plague the Devonshire home where one particular family gained notoriety. The Oatways were a family of shipwreckers and smugglers who mistakenly robbed their dying daughter, an atrocity that appears to be responsible for this building's modern-day paranormal phenomena. And our opening vigils have provided early evidence of such events, with David and Gordon sensing and channeling William Oatway, a man clearly troubled by his past. Whilst downstairs, Richard and Joe were growing increasingly troubled by the shadows lurking in the doorway of the main hall.
What were you picking up?
I could hear you. I could hear what you're saying. Guilt.
Yeah. It was a horrible feeling. Like consuming, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who's the other woman, though?
No, that's been seen. Another woman has been seen up here.
This woman,
She's normally seen by the cot.
Really? Well,
Standing
that's
over the
right
cot.
There where I saw her.
Yeah.
It's not Emily, it's like Amelia or Amelia. But I just saw the figure, just like a glimpse of this.
The cot has been known to rock on its own, and a baby has been seen inside it with this woman standing over it. Who was that?
The door's just gone. That's the downstairs door here, isn't it?
Oh, come on.
That's right.
I don't know.
Hello? Did you just move this door? No, we did not. We're just shitting ourselves here.
We just sat here and
That door has just opened itself.
Okay. Yeah. It's just vibration in my feet.
Who was that?
The group sitting by the fireplace.
Oh.
They're just saying that they're bricking themselves because they saw the door.
So they didn't touch the door?
They didn't touch the door.
I've got a taste of blood in my mouth. Oh, it's horribly strong.
This is Kate, this is how she died.
Is it her, right?
This is her.
Kate, if you're impressing that on me, a taste of blood in my mouth, please move the table just to confirm to everyone else that you're here.
You said before, though, one of you did, I can't remember, that they saw a child with blood coming from their mouth.
Yeah, David did.
Yeah.
Could it not be the child? You didn't know. Could it be the child?
It could be. The children aren't as strong in this room, no, they're not.
No, this is Kate.
It's her room, yeah.
The sudden but fluent movement of this ground floor door sounded strange to those of us who were upstairs, but it came as an even greater shock to Richard and Joe, who were motionless at the moment that Richard and his camera literally jumped out of his skin. Nevertheless, the historian was soon composed enough to follow Gordon up to the priest hole, whilst at the same time a husband and wife decide to join forces and explore the kitchen. But it wasn't long before a strange series of events brought both groups back together.
I feel fine at the moment. I've never felt truly comfortable in the house anyway.
Have you not?
No, not really. But then again, it's been very cold in here. Most of the places we come to are quite warm. And this is outside, it feels like it should be warmer.
I'm just very aware of hearing, I've been here before, I'm wandering round, of hearing groaning noises. What's this?
Alternate. Yeah.
Of hearing groaning noises and a woman going, ah. Heard that lot? Is that you?
No.
What is that?
Well.
Foot on the floor. I think
No,
you've got a leaf on your shoe that's dragging.
No, got nothing on my shoes. I just said to it, it's not me.
I know Gordon and Richard, you can hear them.
Let's go see how they're doing.
This is the place when I came in at first. Even when I walked round the place, I was drawn right to this room. I had to come in here, and this is where I felt there was... In fact, I think I said somebody was dead in this room. And to be honest...
I hate it.
Even in it, I'm actually feeling like I did when we started the visual, the very first one. Yeah. And it's the first time since then I've felt that intensity. What was that? Did you feel that?
Yeah.
The floor. Kate, we know you're here. Come on, Kate. Oh, Richard, I'm feeling icy cold.
I am.
I can actually feel her presence. That's, you know, that real icy cold when the spirit comes close.
Yeah.
Kate, if you're around, please give us another sign. Tap once.
That's, yeah.
Guys, it's us. It's us, sorry.
How are you feeling?
We've had bumps.
Are you?
Don't like it.
You felt bangs?
We've had bumps, yeah.
That's what we
Huge
got.
bang. As soon as we came in.
What's that? It's moving, it's moving.
The cot.
Cot's rocking.
No.
Hang on, I've got it. I'm not moving. I've got it. I've got the cot rocking. I've actually got it rocking now.
What the hell was that?
That was under my feet again. That was loud.
The floor moved.
It actually came up.
I mean, I felt it here.
Gordon,
Yeah.
what's the name of the woman you think that stands over the cot?
Maria.
David mentioned Maria. I think it was David. Was it? No, was it you?
me.
Yeah, Maria.
Maria, we know you're here, Maria. Please, can you move the cot again for us? Please show us that you're here. Please rock your baby to sleep for us again.
Maria.
I can hear you, I can hear that. You alright?
No.
Do you want us to
The
come in
floor
there?
is moving.
What is?
The floor is actually coming up.
That was
It-
weird.
that's twice.
Are you coming in?
Yeah, is that if that's okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not? I tell you what though. Are you
we're
sure?
not moving, we're just standing
not.
here.
No, I know that, but are you sure it's not the actual weight?
We've been over here and it's happened. We've been over here and it's happened. Richard, this floor's not safe. Don't jump up and do it.
No, but I mean, the thing is, can you manage? But when?
I'm just here.
But we've been hearing noises in that room the whole time, haven't we, Richard?
So you've got to be really,
Look,
really
we can't do it. You see, look.
This is seriously.
See, but it's nothing. I'm not.
No, actually, this is the one place it does
I don't
it
like
for
it
me.
in there. I really don't
It's
like
one
this.
place it does it for me. I really feel.
Well, if you, I mean, I can come in there, but I think it's probably a good idea if I stay here just in case the cot goes.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I'm here to get it.
If there's anybody here, any spirit person now, if it's you that's banging on the floor, can you do it again? Bang on the floor again for us if there's someone here.
What's that?
There you go.
No.
It's not me. I'm here.
Okay. Bang twice, please, if you can hear my voice. Bang 2 times. Can you hear my voice? You got it?
I've got it. I've got it. I'm not moving. I've got it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to just leave this on there.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys ask out as you were in there?
Do you know, I honestly think there's been somebody else here that there's no records of or whatever, or whether you can find them, but I do believe there's been something else here, or another person that's been murdered here, or something bad, and I feel it's a woman.
If there is somebody here, whether it's male or female, if it was you that was moving the cot, the crib before, can you do it again? You're right.
No, I just said something. It was like a cold hand go right over my face there. Carl, were you just talking?
Sorry?
Were you just talking?
When?
No.
No.
Because I'm hearing...
this on the camera because I mean my face is right near there.
Yeah.
So you're giving.
He's just got an icy cold hand.
Honestly, real... Look, oh, this is something...
What's the matter?
I don't like it out there.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'll be getting a feeling.
There's something underlying, and
No,
it's
there is.
definitely that.
There's definitely something. There's something not nice here. Are you alright?
Yeah, that's what I want to get away from. I don't know.
Do you want me to hold the camera?
No, it's all
Are you
right.
alright?
Just feel appalling.
Oh, come on! Stop playing around with us. There's just the 4 of us here. We don't mean you any harm. You know that. Come and talk to us. Did you hear that?
What?
That was a bang in another room. Come and talk to us, please. If you were murdered, if you feel you need help, come and show yourself to us. Do something to let us know you're around. Give us some sort of sign.
Carl, just do not move. No, I swear I'm actually seeing you completely change again. This is what I get with David when it's happening to you.
Combining these two vigils had really stirred things up, with Gordon's sensors on heightened alert in and around the priest hole, and all at the same time as a crib intermittently rocked in the manor house's most haunted room. What had triggered these events? Was our body weight the only thing responsible for the movement in the priest hole's fragile floor? And had Carl's face really taken on more than just its usual demeanour? More answers await Most Haunted as we enter our final hours at Chambercombe Manor.
Do you feel alright?
Weird. My
You look
you're
evil.
just changing.
The county of Devon has offered Most Haunted numerous paranormally active locations in the past, and Chambercombe Manor is now adding weight to that theory. The hideous crimes committed in and around this Ilfracombe house are now well documented, but as Gordon was about to detail, another man, other than the smuggler William Otway, may hold a key to who haunts this ancient home.
Carl, just do not move. No, I swear I'm actually seeing you completely change again. This is what I get with David when it's happening to you. Eyebrows, look at that. Oh my
Oh, you look
you're
evil,
just changing.
Carl. You look evil. Oh, I don't like that.
Your face is changing, it's going distorted. You can see that, can't you? Like the
I see
eyebrows
his
going
eyebrows
like,
are really massive, bushy eyes.
There's a blue light on it as
no,
well.
but like a swollen
Yeah,
forehead.
that is. Okay.
Oh, and his face is
I
widening
know.
out.
Yeah.
Do you
That is
feel alright,
weird.
Carl? Do you feel alright?
I'm glad you
I
can
feel-
see this a bit because I thought, is it just
numb.
me?
Oh, his face is elongating. His forehead is really high. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. But even as he's talking, that's not like him talking, look.
God, Carl, you look. I'm sorry, love, but you look evil.
I really don't feel very well.
Do you want to come out?
Yeah, you
I feel
should.
quite sick.
You alright?
Yeah.
Just take the camera.
Yeah.
You're going to be sick.
Oh, God. That was weird.
That didn't look like
No, it
That
really
looked
did not look,
absolutely awful.
like Carl at all. That just as I looked, oh, that was the first thing I saw was his big, thick eyebrows and his face, and I thought, who are you?
Who was I?
There's something on the line here. There's something.
There's
not right.
definitely another mystery attached to this place, and I do feel it's to do with a woman's murder. Definitely to do with a woman's murder.
So who is the man that Gordon is not only sensing, but also now seeing, transfigured into Carl's face? And have we seen and heard the last of either William, Kate or Maria, all of whom are believed to be haunting this manor? Perhaps a return to the four-poster bedroom would offer further evidence of this, particularly as we were all now gathered together and ready to commence with our final séance.
Are there any spirit people here? We know that you're here. Please come and talk to us. If you want to leave this place forever and never ever see it again.
I believe you.
Okay, all right.
Is this one spirit speaking for a lot, or is this everyone speaking together?
I think it's this man.
Yeah, I do actually.
It's not William.
I think it is this man.
Yeah. Is this the best you can do?
I know.
Is this it?
I'm really not very good at this.
I think he's scared, whoever this
Yeah.
man is. He's scared because of something he's done. Is that right? Are you scared because of something that you've done? Are you frightened that you're going to go to hell? Is that what you're frightened? Is that your foot?
No. Your foot's on top of my
I know,
foot.
but I can feel it lifting up.
I know.
I'm going to say something bad now, and
Go
I'm
on.
really sorry. You're a murderer. Did you poison people?
Did you poison your wife?
Ooh.
Did you poison other women?
What's he saying to you, David?
Well, it's more how he's looking. He just looks, as bullies often do when this point comes in their life or their death, scared. Scared.
Can you see what he looks like, David? Because I've already seen him and I was wondering, already told
He's
it.
quite a small man. He looks yieldy, rugged sea captain-y look.
What are his eyebrows like?
Very bushy. And a smell, stench from him. Tobacco and alcohol smell.
Well, I already smoked tobacco as well, yeah.
What does he want?
Well, I think he's frightened.
Oh, you're a misogynist. You don't like women. You mind me talking to you then? Don't scare me. Come on, do something else, you coward, you murderer. Either that or leave us alone so somebody else can come forward. Did you hear that noise just before?
Yes, I did.
What was it? It was like a... Oh, like a groan or...
Yeah. What?
No, he's not gone.
It's
He's
not.
gone somewhere else.
Yeah, he's gone somewhere
So
else.
it's downstairs.
Is that after I said you didn't like women?
There's an air of weight, isn't there? So,
What, like something's going to happen?
yeah.
Had our misogynist been scared away? Had his communication suddenly stopped due to my forceful words? The majority of Chambercombe's poltergeist activity had been captured on camera and checked almost immediately for contributory conditions. One thing was clear: we had found ourselves amidst more phenomena than we'd initially anticipated. The presence of William Otway's tragic daughter Kate can still be felt here, as can two children and the lady who tentatively watches above the crib where a child once died. Indeed, was this female moan another startling link to either of these women? But can the building's air of underlying evil also be attributed to the misogynistic man who we also now believe to be housed here? Centuries after leaving the physical, what is keeping so many astral energies from finally severing their emotional ties to Chambercombe Manor?
During a vigil in the priest hole, an alleged transfiguration occurred. Gordon reported that Carl's face changed, and Yvette also reported the same thing. At the same time, Carl reported kind of a nauseous feeling. Transfiguration, we know as psychologists that your visual perception in such low-level lighting can actually play tricks on you. Our eyes become accustomed to the dark, and it kind of gives almost like a shape-shifting effect going on. And I think that's what was going on with Gordon and Yvette. And everybody focusing on Carl, there is a lot of attention focused on him, and he may feel as though something is actually happening, and the simple act of suggestion may actually cause him to feel a little bit sick and a little bit overcome. For me, the most interesting footage that was captured during the whole investigation was when Carl picked up the crib rocking.
Bang 2 times. Can you hear my voice? You got it?
I've got it, I'm not moving, I've got it.
This is because it tied in with previous reports, and also because the footage was shot from another part of the room. It didn't appear as though anybody was actually around the crib whilst it was rocking. We still have to be a little bit sceptical because we haven't captured the footage at the point where the crib starts rocking. For that reason, there could still be a number of explanations. Somebody could have innocently passed by the crib at that point, or anybody elsewhere in the room or another room, simply by stepping on a floorboard, could actually cause the crib to rock momentarily. But still, for me, it's quite impressive footage.
Despite our offers of help, when will the supposed hauntings abate, allowing some souls to forgive, forget, and finally move on? Until next time, sleep tight.
And next Tuesday at this time, Akora's back as Ghost Town Series 3 kicks off on Living TV. In the meantime, to buy Most Haunted Series 6 Volume 3 on DVD, visit livingtv.co.uk. Next tonight, if you like Most Haunted, you'll love Sensing Murder. The paranormal investigations continue after the break.